Welcome back to the MLS Show. This is the mix zone, not the mixed discaroo zone. We haven't removed the shirt, but we'll just look at it anyway. Let's get into the results first before we pick up some of the news as well. Saturday night, New York City 5, Colorado Rapids 1. Colorado on a 16-game unbeaten run or something and ended up getting...
Yeah, and that's the way these things normally do end. With a good hammering, what can you say? Frank Lampard, first hat-trick in MLS, and it was no surprise to me that it was against Tim Howard, because I've seen him score goals from 35 yards against
cup final winners.
Yeah, against Tim Howard in cup finals, and so it's no surprise to me. But New York bounced back brilliantly after last week's defeat. Yeah. Also, the fact that they've been pretty average at home, that's a really, really big boost for them. And also, you look at Lampard's, obviously the third goal was a penalty, but the first two goals, typical Frank Lampard. And it's great to see that, even in his twilight years, that he's still getting in those places on the pitch and positions and still wants to.
8 goals in 7 games.
I bet no one's booing him now.
Well, he was tipped as the worst MLS signing ever, but I tweeted Saturday, and it upset a couple of our Red Bull followers, but I just said he could be the difference for them.
Do you know what he reminds me of? And keeping this close to home, he reminds me of Tim Cahill when Tim Cahill joined MLS, struggled, and let's be honest, how many players from the Premier League have gone into MLS in the half season and done well? They've all struggled. Beckham struggled. Yeah, Barnes, but he never did the half. He did like the last 6 games. Think about Beckham. You think about Steven Gerrard. They all struggle because they've come off really long periods of football, and he struggled. Lampard, like you said loads of times, he was injured and he played him. They should never have played him. And he never settled down, and then he went to the zoo and went to the tennis and came home and did all mad things. But he's fit now and he's playing and he's scoring goals, and that's Frank Lampard. And long may it continue for the league.
I think the biggest thing as well, he done it without David Villa, who was suspended, of course. So,
but did he do it because there was no David Villa? Did he do it because there was those spaces opening up because there was no David Villa? I don't know. I'm just saying.
Colorado, they can bounce back, can't they? They've been excellent this season.
I'm sure, they've been excellent this season. Let's just wait and see what the next game brings. But they've been excellent, and if they keep doing what they've been doing, I think they've been all right. But New York I'm just really impressed the fact that they've lost that game to the Red Bulls, and it's just a case of, okay, we've lost that game, we move on to the next one. There's no hangover.
It's very good. Sporting, Kansas City 1, Portland Timbers 0. We spoke on another video about Portland. Just very quickly, Ped, good win again for Sporting.
Yeah, they're rolling on.
Strong early kick-off again.
I tell you, this is the secret though. It's hot. Kansas is so hot. I was chatting with my good friend Eric Hall this week in Kansas, and he was saying to me about Dom Dwyer. There's talk of him going to Greece, and I said to him, "What on earth would they do that for?" And he went to me, "Well, the season's basically done." What are you talking about, Eric? What are you talking about? They're in 5th place in the West, and I've come into a lovely little bit of form and a hitting form at the right time. Listen, Dom Dwyer, he's pivotal to what they do, and he scores the goals. I don't think a move would be suited to him at the moment. Sydney, she's having a kid and all that malarkey. She plays out there, so I mean that's a weird one, that isn't it? If you're married to a footballer, how does you've got to be sort of in the same region, I suppose, haven't you?
Well, it happened with is it Carrasco and Alex Morgan? They together at Orlando, one move, and then all of a sudden Alex Morgan was transferred to Orlando Pride and stuff. Because it has to work like that, doesn't it?
But I can't see Sidney Leroux wanting to go over to... Listen, I wouldn't want to go to Greece full stop at the moment, but I think Sporting have got to keep Dom Dwyer. No matter what he gets offered, they've got to keep him. He's pivotal, and they're still within a good shout. If telling you, keep the afternoon kickoffs going, and things will be all right.
Portland done it last season. Seattle Sounders 1, LA Galaxy 1. You're looking at me like I changed my top or something.
Really unlucky Seattle in this.
Well, before, Siggy Smith, gone. Out the door.
Yeah. Who could have predicted such a thing? Who could have predicted or, or said it had to happen? It was the right move to make. Yeah, the guy has been in the job a year longer than he should have. Yeah. I know the place means a lot to him, and there's obviously a very emotional connection there, as there was when Agent Heath left Orlando. But football...
Agent Heath's been linked with Seattle.
But football moves on, and this guy he'd lost. I don't know. The guy looks tired. I mean, he looks tired. He looks like he needs to go and have a very, very long holiday somewhere, put his feet up, and chill out for a bit, because he just doesn't look well. Like, he doesn't look well. Do you know what I mean? When you look at him, you just think you need a rest, mate. Yeah. You've been at this for too long, and maybe it's just time for you to put your, he's had a really good career in MLS, and you wouldn't want it to go on too long till it becomes a bit of a joke figure. Yeah. So listen, it's happened.
Back to the game.
They've moved on. They were very unlucky.
They brought Madeiro in as a DP, and I thought he was sensational.
He played really well.
To be fair, Jordan Morris missed it.
They were 1-0 up. Jordan Morris misses. I mean, that one late on with Van Dam cleaning it off the line. I
think the one in the first half, Madeiro puts him through, and he cuts back in.
But the set one in the second half, that would have wrapped the game up, and it was great as well, because he got 1-on-1, and it was great because if you slow it down, what he does is he looks over to the left and then moves right. Or he might have looked over right and moved left. Depends which way you're looking at it. And he gave the goalie the eyes, and and he got in, and he got right. He got in, and I think a little bit more of experienced striker would have just bent that top corner. Yeah. But he basically hit it at Van Dam. He had Clint Dempsey, who was in a good position as well, because he had the defender at his back, so he could have put it across to him, and that would have been 2-0 now, that would have wrapped it up. And from then on, you felt like Galaxy just had something. Van Dam should have probably been sent off. The second booking, I don't know, the player looked like he threw himself over a little bit, but it was a foul, so therefore it should have been a yellow card. Bruce Arena makes a couple of subs, one of being Leggett, and Mike McGee come on and drops Gerrard a little bit deeper, opens up the space a little bit. Next thing you know, back post, tap in, 1-1. Silenced the Seattle crowd.
But I've got enough certainly from Madeiro to think that he's going to be important for them, and a little bit of they didn't lose the game. That's the big thing. They didn't lose the first game after it. It's a building block, isn't it? Yeah. It's somewhere to start.
And I think the fans as well probably recognised. They were singing all the way through. Yeah, it was good atmosphere, and you could tell that they'd worked hard that week and they'd had a go, and it was just a bit of misfortune more than anything else. So I'm sure it'll come for them. They've got a good team, good squad, and they'll probably kick on now.
FC Dallas 2, Vancouver 0. Dallas just continue to tick on.
And the good news...
A side note to this, we'll go to the game in a minute.
Start the game to get the good news in.
Obviously, Fabian. Fabian was pictured, dancing feet, was pictured at Trabzonspor, come through the airport with Fabian Castillo, we love you, carrying him on the shoulders, all the Trabzonspor fans getting pictures. Yeah, it didn't quite work.
He's only gone already.
He just had a break in Turkey. Basically, reading between the lines, the fee was 4 million. Trabzonspor wanted to pay 2 million now, 2 million at Christmas, and take him on trial almost. Yeah. But Dallas wanted, MLS wanted $4 million up front.
And to be fair, we don't even know if Turkey will still be there at Christmas.
Exactly.
So, it'd be like that film with Tom Hanks when he goes to the airport. And then when he's at the airport, his country disappears, so he gets stuck in the airport. So it would be, it is the terminal. Good film.
So
Steven Spielberg. So I think he's back, and he just needs to get his head down, because you know what? Get your head down, finish the season strongly, go win the MLS Cup for Dallas, and I tell you what, bigger clubs than Trabzonspor will come knocking for you. Definitely. I will be on the phone to Ron Koeman myself and I'll say, Ronald, go and get the whistling feet man.
Yeah.
Bring him in, because he's class.
Because he's fast and class. They won the game without him. Kellen Acosta with a well-taken goal, and Arruti scored, made the 2-0. I had both of these on that MLS Show League predictor thing. But a good win. Vancouver has just traded Giles Barnes, by the way.
I know, that's a weird one.
So Houston, he's probably made up to get out of Houston because it's very hot.
I suppose Houston are doing Giles Barnes a favour, aren't they? Because their season's basically finito. Maybe Houston are thinking, time to start again.
Yeah.
Take the money, get some solid play. Because to be fair to Giles Barnes, he's not the most consistent player.
It's their captain, though.
Giles Barnes should have been an amazing player, but because of those injuries he got when he was a little bit younger, just basically destroyed any kind of top class career he had.
He's still, on this day, he's still in this. He's I know, but his pace and his ability.
No, I agree, but I agree, but I think maybe what Houston are thinking of is go back to basics, get rid of the sort of the frills. And I know he's a really good player, but maybe what they're thinking is go back, bring in some solid, dependable players, and start again. Start building for next season. And yeah, it's great to have players like Giles Barnes, but Vancouver have offered them a way out. And this is not necessarily going to be Vancouver's first choice striker. They've got some really good players, so we'll wait and see what happens.
Yeah. I mean, the spaces of Octavio Rivero, I think he's gone from there. He's gone to one of the South American teams, so Barnes may get in. He'll give them something because they were a little bit light last night. They had Blas Perez up front. He didn't really do much last night. So, but anyway, Dallas just flying at the moment, storming away with that Western Conference at the moment. DC United won, Montreal won. Patrick Mullins from New York City making his debut, scored a good header to give DC the lead. Bernadello, I think it was. But the biggest thing to come out of this one, Montreal Impact, was Diego Drogba. Well, I think the Diego Costa, because it was very Diego Costa. Didier Drogba unnecessarily kneeing someone in it. Now, don't get me wrong, it wasn't a full-blown smash in the back of the lad on the floor with the knee. A couple, some of the MLS community half arguing it was a straight red, the other half saying a yellow. I tend to agree with a yellow card just because it was a nudge, but what's he doing? The referee stood there. There's no reason to do it, is there? Why is he doing that?
I don't know.
It's just ridiculous.
Especially his knees.
Well, yeah.
I don't know. I mean, he's silly, especially this time of year. Yeah. He's going to get what, I don't know, 3 matches.
3 games.
So this time of the year, that's silly because he's been doing all right. He's got a hat-trick.
This was the time.
Scored
last week,
the other day.
Last week, and you're just thinking scored in the All-Star games, and you're thinking very silly.
Stupid.
Chicago Fire 2, Red Bulls 2.
Oh.
Chicago Fire coming from a goal down, an own goal from Matt Polster. David Acamp.
Good goal.
Who was a classic, cracking little player, levels up. Then Polster gets one, scored at both ends. Winning 2-1, 90th minute. Who pops up?
Bradley. It was coming. I was watching it. It was coming. They were under pressure. They couldn't get out. Do you know what made it worse? How naive they were, though. Like if you're sitting there, you can see it coming. Yeah. But nothing. There was no reaction. Like no one. The manager didn't seem to make any changes defensively to make it stop. And it was just that, you know what I mean? Like, you just go, right lads, we're going to put like 5 at the back and we're just going to put someone dead fast up front and we're just going to start pinging the ball down the pitch. There was none of that, they just let it come. And what made it worse was the cross for the goal. He had about 4 touches. He went like, now I'm alright. And then just whips it in. Bradley gets a little touch on and it was in the back of the net. But it's the fact that the crosser got so much time to just go, Oh,
no pressure on
poor, very poor.
No pressure. And it's strange because Paunovic is really, that this season, that's probably what they've done. They haven't had a great season, of course, but that's what they've done, well pressed the ball. Just a little side note to that. Igbonaniki traded from Chicago, wasn't involved, gone to DC United, and he's been traded for Tam. And for
what a player.
And 2 DP, 2 DP slots.
What a player that Tam is.
In November, opening up for Chicago. So
I'll tell you what, that Yeah, that's interesting.
That's
Maybe they've got a couple of players. Maybe they've spotted someone we've never spotted before, like Torres or something.
They've got discovery rights on Torres. And like another side note to that, obviously, Igbon and Iki out to DC. Another side note that the bit of news has just come through and it's just now that Cedric Catanoy from Paris Saint-Germain is going in as the head of the academy for Chicago Fire. So they've got someone from PSG to head up.
Yeah, but maybe academy. He was like, maybe he cut the grass at PSG.
No, he was in part of the academy.
Maybe like, you know, he washed kits at PSG.
He was part
sold
of the academy.
Tea on a match day. Hello, my name is Cedric.
I think
I am from PSG.
I think Chicago Fire are trying to get.
No, that's good. Well, listen, that's what we were talking about the other week when we were talking about Dallas and saying how good it was. Maybe someone has clicked on at Chicago and do you know what? We're not very good. We can't attract people, but you know what we have got? A huge area to pull players from. You know, Chicago, that whole, I mean, the nearest team to Chicago is, and tell me if I'm wrong on this, is Sporting. I'm pretty sure it's Sporting Kansas City, which is a good 3-hour flight. So they have got, I'm sure there's other teams around, like, you know, I think Minnesota wouldn't be that far.
No,
I'm testing my geography out here. Do you know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking lakes, I'm thinking getting frozen over. That immediately takes me to the Mighty Ducks. Coach driving on the ice, it's safe, it's okay, I know this, because he was a kid, played on the ice. All that. That's what I'm. See, that's how my mind works. Even I use films for geography. So I think Minnesota might be that far away. Great Lakes. And Michael Fingio got traded to the Ducks. He wasn't happy. Doesn't matter.
When you've
Baz hasn't seen the Mighty Ducks. Clearly.
I have seen the Mighty Ducks. Isn't that Charlie Sheen?
Yeah, that's it.
Is he in it? Yes.
Is he in it? He's the coach. That's just general knowledge.
Yes. You just said they have.
Why does he become the coach?
I can't remember. It was years ago seeing it. Because he's rubbish.
No, it's not because he's rubbish. It's because he gets pulled over for drink driving and he gets community service and he has to go and coach an ice hockey team. And he hates it because he used to play in the league and the opposition coach hated him because he missed a penalty. And he missed the penalty. And that was it. And then his dad died and he had no father figure and the coach was his father figure and it just ruined his life. He become a lawyer and a drunk. There you go. That's only half the film. I haven't spoiled it if you haven't seen it.
2.5 the film, though.
Is it what? There's actually three.
2.5, man. Charlie Sheen. Okay, let's move.
It's not Charlie Sheen.
No, it's the thing.
It's Emilio Estevez.
That's it, yeah. He looks like Charlie. It's
because it's his brother. That's it, yeah. It's because Charlie Sheen took his dad's name, but Emilio Estevez took his real dad's name. Honest to God.
Charlie Sheen's in 2.5 Men.
Yeah, but Emilio Estevez isn't.
I didn't say. I said with the Mighty Ducks. I said Charlie Sheen.
Charlie Sheen's not.
He is in it.
I led you on.
It's on camera.
I led you on.
Yeah, it's on camera.
I led him on. I let him
lead people.
I lead him through. I led him down the rabbit hole to see if he'd persist in it. Is in it. He was also in Mission Impossible, but he died in that.
Let's go. Let's move on. So
this is what people have missed.
I know.
This is what people have missed.
It's great.
They've missed this.
What? The Mighty Ducks class.
Cartoon was terrible.
We've talked.
It was about real ducks in like space.
All right, let's on the back of you know, we've just talked about Igbon and Iki getting traded from Chicago to DC. New York Red Bulls, see the word gone back. New York Red Bulls also traded Lloyd Sam the other week. They've replaced him with Daniel Rozier, an Austrian international who's played in the Champions League. So, obviously, do you think that was in their mind? Was that been coming on for a couple of weeks, and he thought we create the?
No, but like we were saying, like we were saying at the time, don't have people sitting on your bench. You can do a job for someone else, and they might have thought, listen, this is what makes MLS so interesting, and the salary cap so interesting, the DPs and the TAMs and all this. It also scares people, but this is what makes it so interesting. It keeps the talent moving. Yeah, it's a very traditional thing. Anyone who's watching Moneyball,
but that's good though.
Sit down, you go, listen, you're out the door.
Yeah, you have to go, and off you go. That's good. I mean, that is good, and that's why, again, keeping with the Chicago thing and this Cedric Catanoy, you've got cutting the grass, even though he's a coach at PSG with the kids. Academies are the way to go in MLS. Given that the number of DPs, you can only have a few. Yeah. And like you said before, it's hard to attract.
Yeah, it is.
Some big name.
But I don't get that. I don't get why it's hard to attack people in Chicago.
I just meant...
It's where Ferris Bueller's from, for God's sake.
Back to films.
How can it be hard if they have parades like that every year? Also, in The Fugitive, see how good it is when he walks through, and it's like St. Patrick's Day, and they turn the river green. Who wouldn't want a bit of that?
Fugitive, amazing. Let's move on. Philadelphia Union 1, Real Salt Lake 2. Philly took the lead. Alberg, who was being in fine form, rolling Alberg penalty.
Did I not say like a week or so ago that I thought Philly might just be
on the dip? You've give Jim Curtin the
off the cliff. I said. I don't expect them to recover.
Real Salt Lake have been good though this season. Joe Platter started the season unbelievably, tailed off. He's come back. Him and Morales, the two most,
they're another one, aren't they? Real Salt Lake, they get forgotten about.
But they're right in the mix.
They are. They're what, fifth in the West. They just get forgotten about.
Why? Because they're a good side.
There are jokes I can make, but I don't want to make them.
Don't make
self-censoring myself.
Good.
I don't know what it is. They don't have any real big names.
Yeah.
They don't.
But should that matter if you get?
No, of course it shouldn't.
Talked about Portland.
They don't. They're just. I don't know.
Are they off the radar too much? Is that the problem?
Maybe that's a good thing. But they're like a little thing of their own, aren't they? They're a little.
Jason Christ, that's success.
They're a little franchise on their own in the Salt Plains, and I don't know. They always seem they're a fighting team though.
Yeah.
They're a fighting team, and whether that's enough to get you the MLS Cup, I am not so sure.
They're great on social media. Real Salt Lake.
They are. On Twitter. They are. They once promised me they'd send us a scarf and they didn't.
Oh yeah. And that's why we're not represented. Real Salt Lake.
Yeah, there's a kid up there.
Yeah, that wasn't sent by Real Salt Lake.
No, that wasn't sent by.
To be fair, this was sent from Portland. That sort of stuff. Just saying, JS
and. Long may it continue for the league.
I think the biggest thing as well, he done it without David Villa, who was suspended, of course. So,
but did he do it because there was no David Villa? Did he do it because there was those spaces opening up because there was no David Villa? I don't know. I'm just saying.
Colorado, they can bounce back, can't they? They've been excellent this season.
I'm sure. They've been excellent this season. It's just let's just wait and see what the next game brings. But they've been excellent, and if they keep doing what they've been doing, I think they've been all right. But New York are just, I'm just really impressed the fact that they've.
Welcome back to the MLS Show. This is the mix zone, not the mix discaroo zone. We haven't removed the share, but we'll just look at it anyway. Let's get into the results first before we pick up some of the news as well. Saturday night, New York City 5, Colorado Rapids 1. Colorado on a 16-game unbeaten run or something and ended up getting...
Yeah, and that's the way these things normally do end. With a good hammering... what can you say? Frank Lampard, first hat-trick league. Have gone into MLS in the half season and done well. They've all struggled. Beckham struggled. Yeah, Barnes, but he never did the half. He did like the last 6 games. Think about Beckham. You think about Steven Gerrard. They all struggle because they've come off really long periods of football, and he struggled. Lampard, like you said, loads of times, he was injured and they played him. They should never have played him, and he never settled down. And then he went to the zoo and went to the tennis and came home and did all mad things. But he's fit now and he's playing and he's scoring goals, and that's Frank Lampard. And say that, even in his twilight years, that he's still getting in those places on the pitch and positions and still wants to.
8 goals in 7 games.
I bet no one's booing him now.
Well, he was tipped as the worst MLS signing ever. But I tweeted Saturday. And it upset a couple of our Red Bull followers, but I just said he could be the difference for them.
Do you know what he reminds me of? And keeping this close to home, he reminds me of Tim Cahill when Tim Cahill joined MLS. Struggled, and let's be honest. How many players from the Premier League in MLS, and it was no surprise to me that it was against Tim Howard, because I've seen him score goals from 35 yards against
Cup final winners.
Yeah, against Tim Howard in cup finals, and
Every
so it's no surprise to me. But New York bounced back brilliantly after last week's defeat. Yeah. Also, the fact that they've been pretty average at home, that's a really, really big boost for them. And also, you look at Lampard's, obviously the third goal was a penalty, but the first 2 goals, typical Frank Lampard, and it's great to